Hey friends, now that you had the opportunity to find which sentence I should add to my writing, we are going to work together to see where I can add them in my sentence. I'm going to talk through the different steps that you need to go through for your writing as well. So, we are going to work together to see where I can add a sentence by showing the reader. So, describing what the feeling looks like and sounds like instead of telling the reader exactly how you're feeling. So, instead of saying maybe that you're happy, you could say, I'm jumping up and down and stuff like that, or I have a huge grin on my face. Those are showing the reader what you um, feel or look like. All right, so let's get started. There are three steps for our criteria for success. How many steps? Three. Step one is you just need to pick a place to add a new sentence in your writing. You need to pick a place to add a new sentence in your writing. Step two is where I need you to think about how you felt during your celebration. How you felt. So, what did you feel like? What did you do because I felt that way? Or why did my body, or what did my body look like? So, again, I need you to think about how you felt. So, what did I feel like? What did I do because I felt that way? Or what did my body look like? That is step two. And then step three is in red, you need to add at least one showing sentence to your paper. How many sentences do you need to add to your paper? At least one. Writers. I have this such a useful anchor chart right here. This is going to be like your best friend. So it's an anchor chart for showing emotions and feelings. So instead of saying, I'm afraid, you could say, my hands were shaking, or my knees were like rubber. Or you could say, my heart was pounding. Those are everything that you could say for afraid. Or say, for example, you were happy at your birthday, or you were happy on Christmas. You could say, I had a smiling face, my eyes were wide open, the corners of my mouth were rising, I was jumping up and down, laughing and giggling, and so on and so forth. Or you could be excited. So you could say, my mouth was open wide, or my heart was pounding. So these are all great showing emotions and feelings. And so make sure that if you feel a certain way, to look at the descriptions below to help you. Now that we've gone over our criteria for success, I want to model in my writing where I could add some showing sentences. So, this I want you to have make sure you have two windows open. I want you to have our criteria for success. So I'm going to make a page for that. And then I want you to make sure that you also have your draft. So I am splitting my screen where one side is my draft and one side is the criteria for success. This is going to be the best way to make sure that we follow all three steps for our criteria for success. So first, before I pick a spot where I need to add a new sentence, I need to add that showing sentence, I just need to read my draft that I have so far. So please follow along as I read it. I say, hurry up, I said as I was running downstairs to see what my family and I got for Christmas. First, my family and I opened presents from Santa. Next, my mom and dad told my siblings and I to open a present all together. It was a trip to Disney. Then, my family and I ran upstairs to get packed. Last, we woke up the next morning and headed to Disney. I will always remember the Christmas I went to Disney. So that is the draft I have so far. Now I need to revise it by adding a new sentence. So now step one was to pick a place to add a new sentence. Writers, where do you think I could add a sentence of a feeling? So where could I show my emotion? That maybe what it looked like or what it sounded like. where in my writing I could add that. So let's see. Hmm. Well, this would be, I know my paper is all about the trip that I went to Disney, so I probably should share how I felt. So I think where it says, next, my mom and dad told my siblings and I to open a present all together. It was a trip to Disney. I feel like right after it was a trip to Disney, I should share how I felt. I should share with my readers how I felt when I received that trip to go to Disney. I remember I was so excited and happy. So instead of saying, I was happy, that is just telling the reader how I felt. I need to show, I need to show the reader. So now that I've done step one, I've picked the place where I need to add a new sentence. I need to think about step two. Step two is to think about how you felt. Well, I felt happy. I was just so excited to receive that trip to go to Disney. But instead of, like I said, instead of saying happy, I'm excited, let's look at my anchor chart over here to see what I could add. So I may need to make a little bit bigger really quickly to see what I have. So under happy, it says a smiling face, eyes open wide, the corners of my mouth were rising. I was jumping up and down, laughing and giggling, or on cloud nine. And excited said, my mouth was wide open, my heart was pounding, again jumping up and down, clapping and stomping, uh, clasping my hands. My eyes were wide open. So those are all showing my feelings and emotions. So let's think of what kind of sentence I could add here. And step three is to add in red. So I need to go to my three dots, make sure I'm on the red, and I'm going to add that one sentence. So I could say, I started jumping up and down. So I started jumping up and down while, let's see what other one I could add. Hmm, I like the clapping. While clapping my hands in the air. Writers, notice that this is a spot where I showed what it looked like for me being happy and excited. I didn't tell you I was happy and excited. You can see. And if you picture in your mind me jumping up in the air and clapping my hands in the air, you will know I'm excited. So that was one place. I'm going to add one more sentence just so we get a better idea of what a showing sentence is. So let's go back to step one. Step one was to pick a place to add a new sentence. Well, let's see. Then my family and I ran upstairs to get packed. Hmm. Well, I remember when after I was getting packed, I was just so excited. I had the biggest smile on my face and I just couldn't sleep because I was just too excited that we were going to go to Disney the next day. So instead of saying I was excited, what is some other things that I could write? Let's look again at our anchor chart. What are some other things I could write? Because I know I wasn't sad or shy, cold, tired, shocked. Maybe, let's see, happy. I could say I had a huge smile on my face. Yeah, smiling face. Why don't I talk about that? That I had a smiling face and I just couldn't sleep. You'll then know how excited I was and happy I was. So I've picked my place. I told you how I felt. And now in red, I need to add the showing sentence. So I'm going to make sure, again, I'm in red. And I'm going to say, I had a huge smile on my face all night. I could hardly sleep. I love it. I love the two sentences that I add. I love that you can see in your mind, you can picture how I felt. So now that I have done all three steps of my criteria for success, I just want to read it to make sure it makes sense. Let's read it together. Hurry up, I said. I was running downstairs to see what my family and I got for Christmas. First, my family and I opened presents from Santa. Next, my mom and dad told my siblings and I to open presents all together. It was a trip to Disney. I started jumping up and down while clapping my hands in the air. Then my family and I ran upstairs to get packed. I had a huge smile on my face all night. I could hardly sleep. Last, we woke up the next morning and headed to Disney. I will always remember the Christmas I went to Disney. Writers, this concludes our guided practice. In the next video, I will go over a little bit more detail of what the expectations are for your exit ticket. I am looking forward to seeing the revisions that you make to y'all's papers. Bye for now.